Hello, my friends. Today we're talking about regular verb pronunciation in the simple past. Examples: played, walked, decided. All right, now, but first, this is a huge pronunciation problem for Brazilians when they speak English. It's a big problem for you guys. Hopefully, I can make it a little bit easier. All right, now, there exists a complicated version to teach this. This guy's teaching it right here. It involves TD and ID sounding endings. However, I have my way of teaching it, which I think is a little bit easier. I hope it is. Okay, now, before everything, this is not about irregular simple past verbs, of which there are many. Now, these are all irregular simple past verbs. See, saw, eat, ate, go, went, have, had, make, made, do, did, give, gave, say, said, find, found, take, took, get, got, come, came. These are all irregulars. This lesson is about regular verbs in the simple past. So again, not these verbs that end with an ED in the simple past. Now, you can see, if you listen to me pronounce these, you can see there is a difference in the pronunciation. Needed, played. Here with needed, we pronounce this ED as a separate syllable, that's separate. And played, we don't pronounce this ED like a separate syllable, played, no. All right, now, my version of teaching this. Now, with verbs ending in T or D, the ED is pronounced like a separate syllable. Listen, needed, separate syllable. Wanted, separate syllable. Waited, separate syllable. Ended, separate syllable. Added, separate syllable. Now, this pronunciation is also for verbs ending with T or D sounds. For example, hate. Hate doesn't end with a T. Hate doesn't end with a T or a D. It ends with an E. However, we pronounce it with a T ending, hate. In the simple past, hated. Decide, again, decide doesn't end with a D, it ends with an E, but it ends with a D sound, decide. And in the simple past, decided. Here, another example, skated. Created. Create doesn't end with a T, it ends with an E, but it ends with a T sound. Create, created. All right, now, all other verbs that in the simple past, they end with a D sound, but this D sound does not have a separate syllable. It's just a very small, quiet D sound. It's not a separate syllable. I say, you repeat. Used, played, loved, stayed, tried. You see, it's not a syllable, it's just a small sound. Again, I say, you repeat. Liked, watched, opened, finished, stopped, jumped, helped, planned. Okay. Now, the other lesson from this chapter, from actually the chapter 6 in your book, is the passive infinitive. Passive infinitive is very easy to teach because in Portuguese, it's very similar. We have in the passive infinitive the principal verb. Now, this principal verb you can conjugate. The principal verb can be in the past, it can be in the future. You need to be, literally to be, and the past participle. For example, the money needs to be given. In Portuguese, precisa ser dado. All right, and like I said, this can be for the future. You could say the money needed to be given. You could use it in the future. The money will need to be given. This is the passive infinitive. And like I said, it's very easy because in Portuguese, it's very similar. Now, the chapter also talks about how modal verbs with be in the past participle can be used to have the same meaning as passive infinitives. Now, just to review, these are the modal verbs: must, shall, will, should, would, can, could, may, might, ought to. And an example of this modal verb plus be plus past participle is here. The money must be given. Now in Portuguese, this would be o dinheiro deve ser dado. And this has the same meaning as here, this passive infinitive. The money needs to be given. O dinheiro precisa ser dado, or o dinheiro deve ser dado. These are both basically the same things. Okay, that's it, my friends, and finish complete. Bye-bye. See you later, alligator and a wild crocodile. Have a good night.